Welcome everybody, Nicola Cairncross here. So what I do every week is I keep myself accountable by filling in a page in my Moleskine diary, which is called What Worked, What Didn't, and What's Changing. And it's really good for focusing your mind. I was taught it by an amazing entrepreneur boss of mine, Bennie Gray, from the Space Organization. And he used to get me to do this by email once a week. He wasn't a micromanager, which was lovely. But he did want to know what worked, and the what's changing bit told him whether you had analysed what didn't work right, and whether you were on the right track with changing things and moving in a different direction. And so he could swoop in if he thought that your thinking was faulty or if you weren't going in the right direction. To fix the things that didn't work. So it's a very, very useful tool, and I use it weekly. So let's start with what worked, because that's always nice and positive, isn't it? It's been a very tricky week, I can tell you. I feel like I've hit my stride with my content schedule now. I'm basically creating 2 to 3 blog posts every Monday morning, and 2 of them are content marketing orientated, because that's my main thing, and that's what I want my blog to be found for and my website to be found for in the Google search engine. So that's what I'm focusing on at the moment, getting a really good base of blog posts that help people who want to know what content marketing is, how to get started with it, what benefits it can bring, good examples of it, how to actually do it on a practical level and all that stuff. And then I'm trying to write 1 pillar blog post a week. One last week on the most powerful energetic force that humans emit, that give off and also respond to, and that's had some very good comments on various social media platforms. And go and check it out on the blog at nicolacairnx.com and /blog, and you'll see it. It's right there, and it's got a picture of a very lady with a very compelling set of eyeballs. So I love to pick the pictures. That's one of the things I most enjoy about my content, and I think that that's somewhere that you can really bring your creative skills. That only takes a nanosecond. The taste that you use, your personal taste in pictures, really helps your content stand out. And I've always had an eye for an arresting picture, I think. So I enjoy that bit enormously. I always enjoyed adding the pictures to our Own It podcast thumbnails as well. That's one of the bits I really enjoy. So what else is happening? I seem to have got over my hump of not wanting to go live. I really enjoy it. And when I actually record some of the stuff for my podcast, which is where I sort of read out loud some of the blog posts that I've done during the week, I can definitely hear a difference in energy between me reading out the blog post and me going live. I'm definitely much more animated, passionate, enthusiastic, and really I can definitely tell the difference when I'm just listening to myself when I'm live and when I'm not. So I really want to do more lives because I really enjoy it. I can actually really almost see my ideal clients gathered behind the camera there. So that's really cool. And what else happened this week? Oh, I created a proposal for a potential client. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about that in a minute. But basically, I was working with ChatGPT to create a proposal document that I could customize for each client based on what they've told me they want to do in their business. But basically, as my process when taking on a new client is very similar, time after time. Basically, I wanted to create a template document that looked professional, but was friendly and that I could customize for each client, each potential client as they came along. So I'm very pleased with that. Also, I got one of my business mentors to look over it a couple of times. And the difference between the first document and the last document were because he's a very busy entrepreneur and I tend to get a bit wordy on these things. So he basically was fairly brutal and made me turn it all into bullet points. So it was easily skimmable by busy entrepreneurs. And I think it's all the better for it. So I'm very lucky I've got people that I can run things past. Croaky this morning, I don't know why. But what then happened was I sent out that proposal. We're moving into the what didn't section now, because this really didn't work at all. This was someone who had been recommended to me by a personal referral. So they knew, that I was solid and sound. And they had actually been given a grant to get a new business off the ground by a Chamber of Commerce. And they had they'd given half of it to a web design company to make them a website. They were actually going to spend all of the grant on this website, and they paid half up front. And the amount they were going to pay for the website was pretty much in line with commercial web design companies. And but I knew that I could do so much more. Now, the reason they'd come to me was because the web design company hadn't delivered. And the reason they hadn't delivered was because they wanted assurances that this client was going to be including trans people in their customer base. And my client, potential client, she wasn't very happy about that, because her specific product or service was very specifically geared towards women. And so she really didn't really want to be dictated to by her web design company. So yes, that was a little bit of a eye-opener for me, because I've never come across anything like that before. Suppliers dictating who you sell your product and service to. I mean, really. Yeah, so she then came to me, and basically what I sent back was a proposal where for the next, she was going to get that money back from the web design company. And so for the money that she was going to spend on one website, I sent her a 3-month get your business off the ground online proposal, which included not only a website, a good basic website that could be expanded on later, a good framework, using a great template builder, a CRM, customer relationship management system, a social media plan, setting up all her social media accounts, starting her social media off with video content, and then also creating the first course and getting that into a private membership area on that website, so she wasn't beholden to any social media platforms who might suddenly turn a bit woke on her and decide that they could dictate who she could sell to. So I was future-proofing the business as well, and also getting it off the ground for her, and all for the same money she was going to pay just to get a website. I thought that was a really good proposal, and I was really excited about the project. So I was really, discounting quite heavily, not only because she was a referral from a friend of mine, but also because I believed in the project, which I tend to do sometimes, discount if I can help. She came back and she was outraged at the price, outraged at the quote. I was absolutely taken aback. She said, "I don't know what makes you think I can afford this." The fact you told me you had a grant for it, that's what made me think you could afford it. And I really could have sent back a very long email digging into each aspect of the things she said in her rejection email. But my business mentor said to me, "Really, is it worth your time and effort? Is it? You're never going to convince this person. So is it worth going blow for blow on each point that she made?" No, probably not. So I just sent back a really nice email saying, "Thanks very much for considering me, and good luck with your business, and I hope you get it off the ground." So that was good. That made me feel good. What normally happens when I get upset about big things, I fall out with someone or whatever, is I let it affect me in business. And I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to keep my eye on the ball. I'm going to keep my own content marketing going. I'm going to just try and separate it, compartmentalize it. I'm not very good at doing that in my life. I've not been good at compartmentalizing, but I'm going to do it. And the thing is, when you're unhappy, it kills your creativity. The thought of, it's all you can think about when you're unhappy, when there's something going wrong in your family life. It's all you can, well, for me, it's all I can think about. So I've got to find the motivation. I've got to find motivation for myself. It's about me and making the rest of my life happy and safe and comfortable, and having the resources to be able to have a good life. And if things get worse in this country, to be able to leave this country if I want to. So that's it, really. What is changing? I'm going to compartmentalize my feelings. I'm going to carry on with my own business. Yeah, that's pretty much what's changing. I can't think of anything else. Basically, the things I talked about last week are continuing. I've got the 2 techies working away on my Google Analytics and my AI sequences and automation to make my life easier and more fun, and make more room for creativity, because I think that's the one thing that's getting me through right now, is creative side of learning new stuff and sharing new stuff. So I hope I haven't gone too far on this, and it wasn't very businesslike, was it? But that's what's on my mind this week. So I'm going to be authentic and honest with you. And we just got to all find a way to get through the next few months, years. I don't know what it's going to be, but we've all got to do it. And we have to go to our jobs, and we have to go to our businesses, and we have to do just what we were going to do every single day no matter what's going on inside for us. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.